Hello and welcome to another session. So today we want to talk about the COALESCE function in combination with the full outer join. Okay, so first of all, we have our data prepared here as well. So this one here includes Google Ads data. This is the Meta Ads data. And what do we want to do? We want to apply the COALESCE function on these two tables in a blended data source using a full outer join. Okay. So first of all, a few things to the data. We got 7 club names in this table, and we have 8 sports club names in this table. We have some of these sports club names also in this table, like, for example, London, Manchester, Liverpool, Oxford is in here. But some of them are only in this table. Cambridge is not in this table. Leeds is not in this table. And vice versa. We have some of the club names in this table which are not in this table. For example, Sheffield is not here. Bristol is not here. And Newcastle is not here either. Okay. What we want to achieve with the COALESCE function now is we want to display all the account names down here in a table, in a blended data table, from this table and from this table. If we can find a match, of course, we want to sum up these, like the aggregated numbers for cost or spent and the website purchases, conversion value, like the revenue. So for example, Oxford should have 9,700 plus 6,200 is 15,900 something, right? And for example, for Cambridge, it should just display the cost from this table, 8,400. There's no Cambridge here, so I can't display the cost from here, which is 8,400 plus 0 from this table here, and populate this number here. So let us see what happens. I select the left table, I select the right table, I click on the right mouse, and go on blend data. So let's see what data we can find or see here now. Okay, let's just change that to account name, because that's the ultimate dimension that we want to see, right? That's the goal. And we want to see the cost actually here. We want to see the spend as well, but let's just go with the cost for now, because I want to populate this left table data so it's cleaner and clearer, okay? What we will do as well is, so first of all, we have 7 club names here, and we have 7 sports club names here as well now. So as you can see, Looker Studio automatically created a left outer join, right? We can see that by going into here. We have account name here from table 1, right? But there's no account name for table 2, as you can see. Meaning, we are telling Looker Studio just to focus on this left table, on these account names, and not on these ones. So whenever there's a match, populate them here. If there's no sports club name in this table, if there's a sports club name not in this table here, like let's say, for example, Sheffield, it's not in this table, then we don't care about it. As per definition of the left outer join, it just looks at these account names. So we're going to change this as a first step. As you can see, this is a left outer join. Left outer. We want to change this to a full outer join, because what we want to see is we want to see the total of all the account names here and the account names here and populate them down here, right? Okay. As you can also see, we have selected the dimension account name from table 1, but we also have, as you can see here, table 1, but we also have account name in table 2, right? But for now, automatically, or I actually selected that back then, and it kept this dimension in here. We are populating this value here. Oops, let me just make this a little bit nicer here. Okay. So, first of all, as it's a full outer join now, we are telling Looker Studio to look at all these values and populate them here, per definition, right? But there's a limitation in this case, right? Because we can populate the values for, or the dimensions for this table here, because we're telling Looker Studio to look at these ones, right? Account name, Oxford, Liverpool, Manchester, Cambridge, all those 7, 1 to 7 are exactly these ones here with the respective cost here, right? But then we have this null value down here, right? So why is that? So first of all, because we are just using account name to populate the data for account name 1, table 1, sorry, these ones, and not account names from table 2, right? So it can't display them here, right? Because we're telling it. We would need to add account name table 2 here to actually see these values as well. But Looker Studio in the back end, so to speak, knows that this is a full outer join and it should look at these values and these, but it can't, populate them because of this dimension here that we are telling Looker Studio just to display for this. So it basically aggregates it to a null value. So if we would basically add account name here, we can fix that quite easily, right? And populate the account names for table 2. As you can see, we're populating them. Let's just add the spend as well, the respective spend, right? Because account names in table 2 have a spend metric and account names in table 1 have a cost. So let's have a look at this. What can we see here? So first of all, we can see that Oxford has a cost of this, and Oxford in this table here, Meta, has a cost of this, right? We can also see that Cambridge down here has data from this table here. So this is account name table 1, but it doesn't have data for account name Cambridge in here, right? Because there's no Cambridge here. So it just starts to display for Cambridge here, for table 1, and null values for table 2, because there is no value here, right? So what we want to end up getting this table to is, we want to have one column which houses all the account names, from this table. So from this table and this table. And whenever there's a match, just display one row, right? So for Sports Clubs Oxford, just display Sports Club Oxford in one row to accumulate these, aggregate them together, right? So how we can do that is by using a COALESCE function. And that's the handy bit of it. So add field, you go to, in here we name it account name. Let's name it account name COALESCE. And now what we're going to do is we are going to call the COALESCE function with an open bracket, account name. Take this, have a comma, and add account name from table 2. Apply, and this should look a bit better now. So let's look at this now. Oops, double click on this line, a little bit taller maybe. Okay, that's nice. So what we can see here now is, using the COALESCE function, we can now aggregate these two columns for account names into one. Oxford, Liverpool, Manchester, and here even Sports Club Cambridge is now populated into one, right? We still have this spend here with 0 because we have not spent anything on Cambridge here, which we can clean up as well. But this is what we want to get the function towards, right? We could also, I can show you something real quick because some people use that as well. You could also even add another function here, which basically does the same thing. And we heard about it already before, and we used it before in one of my other videos. But anyway, so this one, we are going to name account name if null, just that we know where we have what we have done here. So you could do if null, right? Account name from table 1, then pick account name table 2. This should be a tick. Yep. Apply this, and let's see if that works as well. Whoopsie. Okay, double click this. Okay, what can we see? As you can see now, account name COALESCE and account name if null. Look at the rows. You can see the numbers or the dimensions are adding up. They're the same, right? And it's doing basically exactly the same thing. So if we look into here for the COALESCE, it's all the same, right? We populate the cost and the spend for the tables that we have to spend for, and that's basically it. So you can solve this issue having just one column, either with the COALESCE function or the if null function. Personally, I prefer the COALESCE function because with the COALESCE function, you could even add more account names. You could even add account name 3 if that would be in the data. So if you had another table, potentially, you could do that. From my knowing, you can't do that with the if null function. You can just add 2. I might be wrong, but I think it's like that. I usually use the coalesce for this, the if null function for metrics. So that's the other part that we have to clean up now. We have to tell Looker Studio to add another field. We will call it cost all, and we will add the cost and the spend of both tables. Okay, so if we look at this now, we can see in this column here at the back, let's have a look. The cost has been added up, right? This plus this is this plus this is this, and so on. But we also have an issue here with the null value here, which comes due to the fact that we are kind of merging the data between two tables. And in one of the tables, we have an account name with null in there, right? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, that's basically the issue because there's null. And if this is null, also the spend is null, right? Because if there's nothing, right? So the issue what we're having is we have to rename this. So Looker Studio can calculate it. 8,403 plus 0 is populating this value. 8,403 as it is currently plus null is displaying an error. It's almost like saying 5 plus null is 5, which it's not. 5 plus 0 is 5, right? So we have to change that. So we go in here again, and that's what I meant before. Here on the metric level, I usually use the if null function. 0, right? So if null cost is 0, right? Plus if the spend is 0, then populate. If the spend is null, sorry, what am I talking? If the spend is null, populate 0. If the cost is null, display 0 as well, right? So Looker Studio can actually calculate the cost. Okay, see this? It fixed it. 8,400 plus not null anymore in Looker Studio terms. 8,403 plus 0 now because we changed this in here, right? So it's calculating it differently and it's actually populating the right values. And that's pretty much what it is. So we can get rid of this now, spend and cost. We can get rid of the account name, and we keep those two. And as you can see here now, we got some really clean data, and that's how it should look like. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Keep watching, keep learning, and hope to see you soon again. Bye-bye.